Hello and welcome to World Have Your Say. Well, from the moment it was announced that President Obama had been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, it became the #1 story online, and it's very much stayed there. 3 of the top 10 trending topics on Twitter relate to the decision. Over 8,000 emails have already been sent to the BBC, and Google's now listing tens of thousands of blog posts debating the decision. So for the next 30 minutes on BBC World News, let's discuss the question everyone is asking: does he deserve it? Call us on country code 44 2070 83 72 72. You can text us from your mobile phone on country code 44 7786 20 60 80, or you can email us at worldhaveyoursay@bbc.com, or add a comment on the blog at worldhaveyoursay.com. Well, let me introduce you to 2 guests joining me here in the BBC World News studio. Professor Saeed Khan from Wayne State University in Detroit, very old friend of the programme. Great to see you, Saeed.
Great to be here today.
And we also have Mariam Oji, an Iranian artist based in London. Thanks for coming in, Mariam. Good to see you again.
It's my pleasure.
But we're going to begin our conversation with some of the people up here on the screen in the World Have Your Say studio. We have Shaima from the team here. She's monitoring all of your messages. We've got guests from Birmingham and from Cairo coming through shortly. But first of all, let's start with Dan Reel. He's a blogger based in Washington, D.C. Dan, thanks for coming on the programme. Do you think your president deserves this award?
No, I don't think he deserves it at all. I was disappointed. I thought if he had any humility, he would have declined it. I just heard his acceptance speech, and the only humility he showed was just words, as he said in the campaign.
Why doesn't he deserve it?
Well, unless the Nobel Committee is more of a cheerleading squad, hoping he achieves something someday, I don't understand. What has he done? The nominations closed 10 days after he was elected, for heaven's sakes. Or were inaugurated. What did he do in those first 10 days to warrant a Nobel Peace Prize? I think the whole thing is a farce.
Mr. Deal, I mean, he, after all, set an agenda, which I think perhaps is more important. I mean, the Nobel Prize is not just intended for accomplishments like some of the other ones. It is a symbolic prize, and many of the past winners have been ones who have not only promoted peace, but in fact have prevented conflict, which is, I think, another often overlooked component of this.
Well, when I look at the list of people that are on that list that could have won this award, to think that he didn't refuse it and then allow somebody who deserved it to win, I find rather disappointing.
I would perhaps could say I agree with you, but on the other hand, we have to look at the positive side of this prize. I totally agree with you that Obama has not achieved anything. When we look at this situation in Middle East, it hasn't changed, of course. The conflict in Iraq and the catastrophe in Afghanistan, never mind the complete disaster in of course, Gaza. And what Obama has promised would do, I think, is the key for receiving this, I think, this prize. But also, Obama, this position of receiving this prize, I think it's actually an answer to what the other president failed to do. It's basically giving him the opportunity to perform as the others didn't.
Well, President Obama's just been speaking. He said it was a reward for not concrete achievements, but more a call to action for everyone around the world. But Saeed Khan, so many people are emailing the BBC, even fans of President Obama, saying, what on earth has he actually done to deserve this award? What peaceful achievement can he list?
Well, I think that's something to ask not just the Nobel Committee, but also to put the finger on the pulse of the world. There was a recent poll that just came out that moved the United States from #7 last year back up to #1 as far as most admired nation. Now, that has to be the Obama factor. That seems to be the only thing that's really changed in the last 9 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Saeed, because the failure of the whole administration of not just Bush, but also Clinton on issues, not just about the political issues, the economical issues, the environmental issues that are facing this planet, and they failed to perform, and basically they lost the face. I mean, it's actually by giving this opportunity to Obama, is they want to lift up this damaged face of the U.S. for the world. I mean, USA has no credibility whatsoever in anywhere, not just in the Middle East, not just in Africa, and not also just in South America.
But it's interesting to hear you both talk in different ways about the fact that this is acknowledgement of President Obama bringing America back into the fold. President Sarkozy of France has said much the same thing. But I wonder if those of you watching agree with that. And also, do you think that's got anything to do with it? Is it enough to just bring America closer to what the rest of the world thinks? Or does actually he need to be able to list some achievements to warrant this award? Dan, you've been listening from Washington to the arguments from Mariam and from Saeed. What would you say to them?
I would say I heard Iraq mentioned. The fact is President George Bush put Iraq on the path to freedom and democracy and hopefully personal wealth and all the beauties that America enjoys. If anyone should have gotten it, he should have gotten it. If anyone talked for 4 years until we throw him out.
I think the record of Mr. Bush, and especially what he did actually in the Middle East, is a complete reason for America to lose their credibility totally around the world, not just about, I mean, what they have aggressively pushed for, selling the arms in the region and promoting this nuclear disarmament, but of course not helping, which Obama has actually promised that he will make changes to our future and the world's problem, which is combining and collecting all these nuclear weapons. And of course, let's see, and actually I have criticized Obama in this way as well, because he actually allowed Israel to go without stating how, you know, declaring what they have. Mm-hmm. But I think verbally, whatever he stated, Obama is he make changes around the world, not just...
If you're just turning on BBC World News, we're talking about, well, I probably don't even need to tell you, we're talking about President Barack Obama being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, and we're simply asking what everyone's asking, which is, does he deserve it? Now, this isn't just a TV programme or a radio programme, we're also an online discussion which takes place 24 hours of the day. Before we bring in Osama, who's a finance broker in Cairo, let's turn to Shaima from the World Have Your Say team for some of the messages you've been posting on the blog.
Ross, and like you said, many of the emails and the comments that we've been getting are against the decision. This is from Yigal from Israel, who emailed the BBC to say, I like President Obama, I like him a lot. I like his ideas and I like his spirit, but surely this is too soon. He has plans, and yes, he started doing some great work, but he didn't accomplish anything yet. And this is from Serif in Ankara, who says, I think the decision has made the Nobel Peace Prize absolutely worthless. And also this from Shahzad in Saudi Arabia, who says, this is the joke of the millennium. Why give a peace prize for the supreme commander of an army involved in 2 wars and responsible for the killing of scores of innocent civilians in Iraq and in Afghanistan? Now, while you've been emailing, some of you have also been sending their comments and their views on video.
5:06 in the morning, breaking news. President Obama has won the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. Wow.
The word that just springs to mind is premature. I'm not saying that he won't deserve it. I'm just saying I don't think he does deserve it right now.
Now remember, you can join the conversation as well. Our blog address is worldhaveyoursay.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, and you can get in touch, and all the details are on the screen right now.
Shaima, thank you very much indeed. And by the way, if you're watching and thinking, how do I send in a video if I've got a comment, go to bbcnews.com, click Have Your Say, and you'll find all of the details.